Hello, this wonderful Sunday afternoon, and welcome back to the Bridge channel. My name is Modupe, and I'm so happy to have you join us here again today. If this is your first time, then you would like to know that on the Bridge channel, we discuss how we survive difficult circumstances. But hold on a minute, we don't just stop at surviving, we move on to thrive in life. And how do you thrive after going through difficult circumstances? I put it to you that you can only do that through God's ever-present, ever-sufficient, amazing grace. How are you doing? How has it been for you as you started the second half of the year? I say a prayer for all of us that God will continue to keep us, God will continue to protect us, God will perfect all that concerns us. At the end of the year 2021, we will have every cause to give God the praise. 2 weeks ago, we started what I call Lessons from My Grief. And today I'm going to continue on the same series. So if this is the first time of coming across a video on the channel, we're discussing Lessons from My Grief. And that is because in December, I lost my eldest sister. And since then, I've been dealing with that loss. And I'm used to coming here to share whatever it is that God has put on my mind, or whatever it is that I've learned or I'm learning or relearning. And so that's why I'm sharing. I have said it in the first two videos that I'm not sharing because I think that the process is done. I'm sharing because as I realize these things, as I go through this process, I feel like, where else do I share but back here with my family on the Bridge channel? And so that's why I'm sharing. I started by saying that the first thing I learned is that it will end in praise. Last week, I discussed the fact that we have to tell ourselves, we have to convince ourselves that it is not our fault because we are not sovereign. Today, I'm going to talk about what I've also learned, and that is the fact that you need to give it time and you need to get help. Now, I'm going to discuss both of them together because if I say give it time, it could just be, oh, wait for the healing process to happen. But sometimes I've come to realize that sometimes we have to get help. Sometimes we can't do it by ourselves. We need to step out there. And when I say get help, I'm not just saying get help from everybody or anybody. I'm saying get professional help if you can. So give it time. I'll share my experience. When I lost my sister, like I said, it was really overwhelming grief that descended on me. And as I was going through it, I started also seeking resources, reading about grief. And I realized, I learned that the 5 stages of grief, or sometimes they say the 7 stages, but at some point you get to acceptance. You accept the fact that your loved one, your loved job, your loved marriage, whatever it is that you might be dealing with at this time, or whatever it is that you've lost that have led to grief for you at this time, you come to the realization that it has happened and there's nothing that you can do about it because, again, you're not sovereign. And as I was going through the stages, at some point I felt peace and I thought, oh, I'm in acceptance. And then 2 days down the line, I found myself going through the stages of a lot of anger and, a lot of anger and guilt and denial all over again. And I started wondering, what's going on? I thought this, you go through the stages and you're done. And then it occurred to me that you don't actually go through the stages and you're done. Recently, I was talking to someone because at that point, I told myself, maybe you go back again and start all over again. And it's a class you keep repeating. And then she was able to, just last week when I was discussing, she was able to clarify that she thinks it's in waves. So you go through a wave and then you go through another wave. So it's not like you're repeating. It's just that it comes to us in waves. And as time goes on, I think the waves or the curves just gets easier, and then you find yourself staying longer in the comfortable stages of grief than in those places where you're in despair and you're confused all over again. Today I've come, as I have learned in this past 7 months, I've come to share that you need to give it time. You need to add to your faith, patience. You need to, through faith and patience, inherit that promise of praise at the end of it, garment of praise, but you need to give it time. And if you find out that it's difficult for you, then you need to seek help. Also, in the course of the past weeks and months, I've spoken to a professional therapist, and I've gotten some nuggets and insights that have also helped me. So I've not just done it by my power. I've also done it through God's grace that has led me to seek help. So if it's within your power, it's within your space to get help, I would like to encourage that you also get professional help. And you know, our stories will vary. Whatever it is that has led to grief for us or for someone close to us will be different. But if we get professional help, they might just be able to attend to you the way that you need it. So today I've just come to tell you that you give it time. Yes, praise is the end of it. It will end in praise. But give the process time. And I bet that it will indeed end in praise. I also want to encourage you to get help, get professional help. If in your circle that's easy for you to come about, I say a prayer for you that God continues to help you. God continues to help me to learn, to ensure that at the end of it, that this process indeed leads to the glory and the praise of our God. I'll stop here again today. Next week we'll continue. Meanwhile, if you're watching and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We would love to have you join us. Don't stop at just clicking the red subscribe button. Also click the notification bell. That way you will know every time we have a new video on the channel. Thank you so much as you do that for us. Also share, like, comment. It would be nice to have you share your comments. If you're dealing with anything, if there's something you want to pass out there, trust me, people go through comments and get blessed by them. Between now and the next time when I'm back here on the Bridge channel, I'm going to leave you with what I call the most important thing. And that is that you should never, ever forget that God deeply, deeply loves you. Bye-bye.